Paul Edward Armando is a cryptozoologist whose specialty is studying the rake. The rake, a hairless albino cryptid known for its sharp teeth and huge, clawed, rake-like hands. It is also known for its extremely aggressive behavior towards humans and has been documented as entering homes and bedrooms to kill. Armando's research is controversial as he claims the rake is actually a subterranean dweller whose natural habitat is caves and fissures beneath the earth. But, as noted above, they can enter human abodes, homes, and buildings to carry out their depredations. Armando states, "Consider the following account I received from a man living in a city in Western Canada." Quote, "I have a buddy who owns a rental property in a poorer section of town, and as I needed a place to live, he offered me one of the 4 flats in exchange for keeping an eye on the place. The other 3 units were empty, as he had been renovating them during the pandemic. As it was a rough area with a lot of break-ins, my buddy suggested that I lock down the building at night. I mean, I was the only one there, right? And so I did. I locked the front and back doors, the double doors leading down to the cellar, plus the doors to all the flats, including mine. Heck, I was so into locking doors, I even locked my bedroom door when I went to bed. This is important later. For the first week or so, everything went fine. The nights were quiet with very little noise from the street, and every morning I would exit the building and check that all the doors and windows were locked and hadn't been tampered with. I did the same when I came home at night, but everything seemed safe and secure. Until the night I heard something moving around downstairs. I had woken up to find it was 3:43 a.m. I wasn't sure what had disturbed me, but as I sat up, I thought I could hear something moving around downstairs, perhaps in the basement. I listened intently, but the noise appeared to have stopped, and I soon drifted back to sleep. Next night came the nightmare. I dreamt I was walking through the dark alleys of a primeval forest. It was dusk, and I could barely see in the murky shadows. But even though I could barely see, I somehow knew I was being followed by something that wanted to harm me. I tried to pick up my pace, but it was impossible to move quickly in the oppressive gloom that surrounded me. And then something behind me shrieked! My heart stopped, and I almost lost control of my bowels. The scream had come from behind me, but close behind me. I whipped around, and at first I could see nothing, just trees and shadows. But then I caught a glimpse of movement, of something pale, whitish, low to the ground and heading towards me. As it drew nearer, I could see it was a thin, white humanoid with glowing red eyes, the glare of which made it hard to discern its overall appearance. It appeared to be on all fours, but then it stood up. It was thin, skeletal, the skin an almost fluorescent white, and those huge hands, those claws, Those huge hands, as large as rakes. The thing shrieked again, and I could see it was running towards me. And then I was running, and I woke up, drenched in sweat, my heart pounding so hard I thought it might tear out of my chest. I struggled to catch my breath and heard something moving around inside the building. The sounds seemed to be coming from downstairs, and there was no mistaking them. Something was ascending the stairs from the ground floor. As I listened intently, it reached the hall, and I could hear it moving slowly, stealthily, across the hardwood floors, making a faint clacking sound. A clacking sound. Did the thing have claws? I got out of bed as noiselessly as I could and padded over to listen at the door of the flat. The unknown thing drew closer and closer until it was directly outside. And then it tried the door. I could see the handle moving up and down. Something was trying to get in. I thought about pulling open the door, thought about calling out, "Who's there?" But I was paralyzed by an overwhelming sense of dread, of icy terror. So I slunk back to bed as quietly as I could, relocking the bedroom door. But all the time, I was sure the thing knew I was in there. So why didn't it try to break in? I lay awake the rest of the night. I think I slept a bit towards morning. When daylight returned, I made a complete examination of the building, but all the doors and windows were locked and secured. But in the basement, I suddenly realized that there was a crawl space under the building. Could something be entering up through the crawl space, coming up from underground? I went to lift the lid to see what was underneath. But once again, I was paralyzed by an overwhelming sense of dread, of icy terror. So I left it alone. I should have told my buddy that something was getting into the building, something weird. But instead I kept silent. A curious malaise seemed to come over me, a reluctance to speak, and, strangely enough, a sense of shame. But for whatever reason, I kept silent. I knew that somehow I was destined to see the thing again, that somehow I was meant to be its victim. I went to bed as normal, and once again dreamt of the dark and terrible forest, and of the white humanoid thing that chased me, and that almost caught me. Once again, I woke up to find it was 3:43 a.m., and that this thing, that it was sitting on the edge of my bed, staring down at me. It was fish belly, dirty white, and completely hairless, an emaciated humanoid with burning, glowing red eyes and hands. Those huge hands, those long clawed fingers, hands as huge as garden rakes. For that's what it is, isn't it? Isn't it the rake? The rake? This happened a week ago, and every night it's the same story. I always awaken at the same time, 3:43 a.m., to find my companion, the rake, staring down at me while I stare back until, towards dawn, I fall back to sleep, fall back into the dank forest, and when I wake up, the rake is gone. What is happening to me? Am I going mad? I should tear myself away or tell my buddy or something, but I can't seem to do it. So I'm telling you, it's as if this strange being has mesmerized me. What can I do? Thus concludes this strange account. Armando's conclusion? The entity which has breached the security of this apartment block is clearly the rake. Clearly the rake. The huge white albino hairless body, the flashing red eyes, the huge clawed hands, and the unearthly shrieks are a perfect description of the rake and its aggressive behavior. The rake is well known for penetrating homes and bedrooms, and has been known to stare voyeuristically at sleeping persons before waking and attacking them. Sometimes it even speaks in a shrill, unintelligible voice. As I believe it to be an underground dweller, it has no doubt found some means of entry into the building through the crawl space, which is somehow connected to some underground caves or tunnels, perhaps even to the sewer system. Alas, I fear my correspondent is doomed, even if he should leave this building, and even go to another city. I suspect the rake, which is perhaps a paranormal as well as a physical entity, will follow him with harmful intent. I wish I could be more positive, but rationally, he's doomed. Warren here. So, Armando thinks our hero is doomed. But what do you think, dear listeners? Please let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and stay safe, stay subscribed, ring the bell so you don't miss any upcoming videos, and feel free to share this video and any of my videos with anyone you please. If this is your first visit to my channel, please consider subscribing. My name is Warren, and I write and tell original ghost stories and original horror stories featuring such cryptids as the night floaters, werewolves, and the black-eyed children. So again, please consider subscribing. Please help me to reach my goal of 2,500 subs in 2022. Till midnight. Cheers. Pictures used in today's video, courtesy of Pix here. That's PX here. While the music was The Dreadful, The Dread, by that patron of the internet, Kevin MacLeod. Thank you for listening.